Hello, hello, hello. Once again, it's Stevie B at PTC. We're coming at you today with a special evening edition of PTC Live. And obviously, that means that we have someone on that's very important if we're not in the middle of the day. We're in prime time tonight with Miss Kim Chalmers. Kim, how are you today?
I am great, Stevie. How are you?
I'm doing very well. For those of you who don't know our wonderful colleague, Miss Kim Chalmers, Kim is our financial aid outreach counselor. And tonight's show is focusing on financial aid. We know that when people are getting ready to go back to school or start a new semester, financial aid is, hey, it's one of the most important aspects of being a college student and finishing your degree. So Kim is going to share with us tonight and talk us through some of the important things that are happening with financial aid. And Kim, I'm just going to dive right in because we know that the first question that normally comes up is, what options are available to me? If I'm going back to school, how do I do it? Where do I get the money? What kind of money is available and where does it come
Okay, Steve, glad you asked. There's basically four ways to pay for college, which includes grants, scholarships, work study employment, and loans. Grants is free money that does not have to be repaid and is given to you based on need. Scholarships are also free money that's given to you because of maybe academic achievement, talent, skill, or financial need. There's also the federal work study program, money you earn from working on a job on or off campus. And loans are money that you borrow and you have to repay. So you want to get more grants and scholarships and only borrow what you need.
Absolutely. The federal Pell Grant program is huge for us. I would imagine a greater percentage of our students are Pell Grant applicants and recipients.
Yes, they are. We have a majority of our students do receive Pell Grant and some other types of financial assistance.
Excellent. So we know that there are various sources of financial aid. So the next thing we want to get to, Kim, is, most people think that this is a drag down knockout process and that there's just no way to get through it. But I'm pretty sure you'll share with us tonight that it's not that difficult if you got all the things that you need together. So kind of walk us through the financial aid process, how you complete the FAFSA.
Okay. The first step in the financial aid process is to complete the FAFSA. The FAFSA is a free application that you complete online. The website is www.studentaid.gov, but if you use FAFSA.gov, it'll still take you to the FAFSA website. The FAFSA is a form of need analysis. It gives you the expected family contribution. You will use your parents and your 2019 income, and it looks at the household size. It looks at the number in college, and you can send it to up to 10 colleges or universities. So the very first step is to complete the FAFSA.
And the FAFSA is free, as we said. So you don't have to go in and pay, and they're not gonna hit me with one of those little icons that say submit your credit card here.
Right. Make sure you go to the studentaid.gov website or FAFSA.gov, because if you go to FAFSA.com, at the end, it's going to say, you owe me $75. So add your credit card information. So make sure you use the FAFSA.gov or studentaid.gov and not .com.
Well, right now, Kim, with a lot of things that have been going on with COVID and how things have changed, I'm sure the federal government has been affected as well. But many people are just now getting tax returns and all of those sorts of things. And those things are an important part of the financial aid process. So for those individuals that are needing to get information from the IRS for the financial aid process, could you talk to us a little bit about the IRS data retrieval and how that works?
Okay. For the 21-22 FAFSA, you'll use the 2019 tax information. So most people have already completed the 2019 tax information. But when completing the FAFSA, there's the IRS data retrieval tool that's available. And if you can use the data retrieval tool, that's the best way to import your tax information. It goes directly from the IRS website into your FAFSA. So all you have to do is create your username and password. You'll use your username and password to upload the information from the IRS website, and the information is loaded directly into the FAFSA. And if you're selected for verification, you won't have to provide a copy of your tax transcript. So everyone who can use the IRS data retrieval tool, make sure you use it.
Excellent.
And
so
again,
now
the information is 2019 information. So if you use the IRS data retrieval tool, that information will automatically import. But if you're not able to use the data retrieval tool, make sure you use your 2019 tax information.
Great, excellent, excellent information. So now we've gotten to the point where I've put all this stuff in. I've gone to the FAFSA.gov site, which is the free site.
Free site, yes.
I've downloaded everything. I've gone to the IRS data retrieval tool and imported my IRS data from 2019. I'm ready to go. I've got my schedules and all that stuff is ready to hit and create a package for me. What happens next when you get your schedule, you get your money? How does that process work?
Okay, Stevie B. Once you complete the FAFSA, it takes about 3 to 5 days to process. That is if you use you signed it electronically with your username and password. It takes about 3 to 5 days to process. Once it's processed, you'll get an email saying your FAFSA has been processed and sent to your school. So at that time, you can contact the school that you applied to see what's the next step, what additional information is needed that you'll need to provide to that school. But once you complete it and sign it electronically, it only takes about 3 to 5 days to process. So if you go ahead and do it now, you'll be ready to go for next fall.
Excellent, excellent. Now, with the financial aid process and getting everything completed, sometimes there might be some additional requirements, and students are required to have a relationship with yourself and other members in your office. So talk to us about some of the additional requirements, like, you know, how long the entire process takes, and maybe some of the differences between school requirements or things of that nature. Anything that might have a student guessing, let's kind of clear them up about that process.
Yeah, once you complete the FAFSA, that's just the first step. It usually takes about 2 weeks for everything to process and complete. Once you complete the FAFSA, again, you'll get your STAR report, which is the student aid report. This will give you some numbers that financial aid can interpret for you. And what you need to do is log into the school portal, and that way go to the financial aid tab and see what additional information is needed. All of our students will complete a terms and condition and a federal authorization. But those who are selected for verification, there's additional documentation that's needed. So if you're selected for verification, then there's additional forms that you and possibly your parents will have to complete. So once you complete the FAFSA and you get the information from the school that's saying we have received your FAFSA and it's processing, once you're able to log into the student portal, make sure you log in and see what additional information is needed. Whether we need your tax information, additional forms signed about household size, and that type of stuff.
Great, great. And, you know, in the end, after all that's done, how do I know how much money I got?
How do you know how much money you have? Once everything is processed, your financial aid will post into your pathway account. And from there, if you look at the account summary, it'll tell you, it'll give you a breakdown of the different type of financial aid you receive, whether it's Pell, loan, lottery, need-based. It gives you detailed information about how much money you receive. So once you complete everything, you log into your pathway account, go to the financial aid tab, and under the account summary, it gives you a breakdown of all the financial aid you receive. Now, one thing is when you do the FAFSA, it gives you the amount for full time. But if you do not attend full time, it's prorated based on the number of credit hours you attend. So we have a lot of students say, I was approved for $4,000 and I only received $2,000. So the $4,000 was for full time, but the student went part time. So the financial aid is prorated based on the number of credit hours you attend.
Oh, great, excellent. You know what? You covered that one. I don't even think I had that question here ready to ask. Good job. I see, professional as you are, I should have known. Now we want to get into a little bit more about the different types of financial aid that's available. Could you walk us through the differences between, federal Pell Grant, FSEOG, and the Teach grants or loans? Can you talk a little bit about those things for us, Cam, to kind of clear those?
I can see. For federal Pell Grant, for the federal Pell Grant, for the need-based lottery and loans, you have to complete the FAFSA. Once you complete the FAFSA, you get a number called EFC, which stands for Expected Family Contribution. This number lets us know how much financial aid you will receive. So for the federal Pell Grant, it's based on need, and currently you can receive up to $6,345 to help cover the cost of tuition.
That's an increase, isn't it?
Excuse me?
Isn't that an increase?
Usually it usually increase every year. We don't know, but right now this is what we have. So $6,345 if you complete the FAFSA and if you have a 0 EFC. Right. Now everybody won't get that amount, but it'd be based on your EFC. Sure. We also have the Federal Supplemental Education Opportunity Grant, and you can receive up to an additional $1,000 on top of the $6,345 from the Pell Grant. This fund is limited. So that's why we want you to go ahead, complete your FAFSA, because it's on a first come, first served basis. We only have a set amount of money. So once it's gone, it's gone.
Okay.
Also, the federal Teach grant, it's a loan. You can receive up to $4,000 in addition to Pell and other financial aid that's available. Yeah. And also, for the loans available for our students, and loans are money you will have to pay back. And we have subsidized loans and unsubsidized loans. The difference between the subsidized and unsubsidized is with subsidized, the interest won't start accruing till 6 months after you graduate or 6 months after you stop attending at least half time. Okay. But with the unsubsidized, the interest starts once you receive the loan. Okay. So when you're accepting the loan, you want to accept the subsidized first because the interest won't start accruing once you receive it. If you need additional loan, then the unsub is available, but the interest starts accruing once you receive it.
Well, one of the things that I know that students enjoy talking about too, and getting more information about, particularly as we one of the things about Piedmont Tech is it's an excellent education and it's affordable and accessible. Right. And we pride ourselves in that. And there are other things that are available in terms of state and even community and local business, things like scholarships and grants. But there are some qualifications to be eligible for scholarships and some grants. Could you talk to us a little bit, Kim, about what those eligibility requirements are?
Okay. We have the South Carolina Needs-Based Grant, and it's a grant based on needs. So once you complete the FAFSA, it's a limited amount of money, and it's based on needs. So once you complete your FAFSA and turn in all your documentation, we can see what type of South Carolina needs-based money you can receive. We also have the lottery tuition assistance. And for lottery, for those who are not Pell eligible, could receive lottery. Currently, lottery pays $110 per credit hour. You have to be at least attending half-time, which is 6 credit hours or more. And you have to be a South Carolina resident with a 2.0 GPA. So even if you're not eligible for Pell, then there's other money that's available that can assist you in covering the cost of tuition. We also have the life scholarships. For those students who graduate with a 3.0 GPA or higher, you can receive up to $5,000 to pay for tuition. And the life scholarship, you have to be full-time student to receive the life scholarship. So if you graduate with a 3.0 GPA or higher, and after taking the placement test, you place in 100 level above above courses, then you're eligible for the Life Scholarship, which pays $5,000 per year. And those who are eligible for Pell and Life will get the $6,345 on top of the $5,000. So there you go, tuition covered.
Hey, well, I wasn't the type of student that would have been eligible. So, because I was kind of coasting in high school. We ain't gonna tell nobody about that though. So Kim, also, let's go back and make sure that in terms of some of the scholarships and grants, you must be a United States citizen.
Right.
And let me see if I can remember these. You must be a United States citizen or a permanent resident.
Correct.
You must be a South Carolina resident.
Correct.
No felony convictions.
Correct.
And no alcohol or drug or misdemeanors or things of that nature. And you're not in any default of any state or other federal loans, and you must be enrolled in a degree seeking program.
Degree seeking program, correct.
That's one of those things we didn't want to harp on, because we know that our students are people that don't fit into these categories. They're going to be the upstanding students that we want to bring in and get our programs going. So what's next, Kim, when we start talking about our grants and other programs? Did we cover the Hope Scholarship?
Okay, the Hope Scholarship. The Hope Scholarship, you have to have a 3.0 GPA. It's for freshmen only, and you must attend a 4-year South Carolina institution. So Piedmont Tech currently do not have the Hope Scholarship, but if you're planning on attending a 4-year institution and you don't quite meet the requirements for the Life Scholarship, as far as having a 3.0 GPA, you do have to have that for the Hope Scholarship, but for a 4-year institution, you have to have more requirements like SAT scores. Mm-hmm. And so if you don't meet those other requirements of the SAT scores for the Life Scholarship at a 4-year institution, then you can receive the Hope Scholarship, which pays $2,800 per year. And if you, after you complete 2 terms and you have a 3.0 GPA and your required credit hours, it can change over to the Life Scholarship.
Excellent. That is.
And so, like, the difference between the 4-year institution, Life Scholarship, and Piedmont Tech, we only require the 3.0 GPA on the South Carolina grading scale. For the 4-year institutions, you have to earn 2 out of 3. You have to have a 3.0 GPA, 1100 on the SAT, or 24 on the ACT, or be in the top 30% of the graduating class. So you have to make 2 out of those 3 for the 4-year institutions. For Piedmont Tech and 2-year institutions, you only have to have 3.0 GPA, and after taking the placement test, place in non-remedial courses.
Wow, what we're trying to show people is that education is attainable, it's affordable, yes, it's accessible. And for our young people, our middle-aged people, and in the technical college system, we have people that are 18, and we have people that are 55, and financial aid and access to education is available. Now, outside of scholarships and other things, and those types of financial opportunities, tell us a little bit about the Federal Work Study Program and how that works.
The Federal Work Study Program provides funds that are earned through part-time employment to assist students in financing the cost of post-secondary education. Usually, you're working on campus. We do have some community-based organizations that some of our students work in, but usually working on campus, mostly sometimes in your field, so you're gaining work experience that way, and you're being paid minimum wage, and you can work up to 20 hours per week.
Sure.
So it's a way to earn money to help cover the cost of tuition and put gas in your car to get back and forth to pick up a sandwich on your way, to class. But and you're also gaining work experience, and gaining work experience while in school, I think is a value for our students. It's just students in general.
Sure. And let me go back through my mind here and let me see, did I leave anything out? Did we talk about loans, the availability of
Yeah, we talked about loans. We talked about the different types of loans, the subsidized and unsubsidized. So, Steve, what is the best loan to take out? If you're a student and you're going to get a loan, which loan would you apply for first?
Unsubsidized?
No, Steve, you
No.
would apply for subsidized
Subsidized because it is not.
because the interest don't accrue until
Right.
6 months after you graduate or 6 months after you stop attending at least half time.
Excellent. Well, I had to play possum right there and let you tell me about it. But is there anything else, Kim, that you want to that you feel like we haven't touched on that um, typical questions that students get? Let me just say this let me ask this. There seems to be when we are referring students, like people like myself or Amelia or Russell, who might find ourselves on the phone with someone. There seems to be this trepidation about the whole financial aid process, like it's a monster of some sort. But I'm sure you can shed some light on that process. There's sometimes more information that needs to be gathered from one individual than another. But the process in and of itself, can I say it's a relatively easy process?
I would say it's a relatively easy process. Now, the first step in completing a FAFSA is the student and one parent will have to have a username and password, the FAFSA ID. So make sure when creating your username and password is something that you're going to remember. And because you'll keep it for the rest of your life, you assign your children's FAFSA with it. So the student and one parent will create a username and password. The student and parent will need to have separate email addresses. That's one of the information you have to have to complete the username and password. But once you complete your username and password, that helps you log into the FAFSA. It helps you sign the FAFSA. And that seems to be one of the longest process is creating your username and password and keeping up with it. Because we have so many students that, forget about it or use a email address that you're not going to have anymore. So don't use your high school email address because I think once you graduate, it's only good for so long after that. So make sure you have a email address that you're going to use after you graduate, and you'll use that, like say, for your entire college career to sign your FAFSA, to log into your FAFSA, to review your FAFSA, to make changes to your FAFSA. And just make sure that you read the questions carefully and answer them accordingly. And with the FAFSA, if you have questions about, say, you don't understand what it's asking, if you look to the right, there's a little help button. You click the help button and it tells you, get this information from line 7 on your FAFSA.
Okay.
So very easy to complete. It looks intimidating, but once you get into it, you'll see it's an easy process.
Okay.
And also, too, Steve, addition to financial aid, there's other scholarships that are available. I always tell students, research other scholarships. If you have a high school job, check with your employer about different scholarships that's available. Check with your parents' employer about different scholarships available. Check on the school website. We have foundational scholarships and different scholarships here at Piedmont Tech that can assist students as well in covering costs of tuition and fees. So make sure, when you complete your FAFSA, don't let that be the last step. Review scholarships. Even if you have to write a paper, a little essay, write one, save it, use it for everything. And if you get $100 here, $100 there, it adds up and it helps covers the cost of tuition.
Absolutely. Well, you've given us a lot of information and a lot of data, but I know for a fact that I'll see people, in some of my hangouts like Walmart and at the Y and other places, and we often get questions, I'm sure you do as well, about Piedmont Tech because they know we work there. You have an excellent reputation of being able of working with students and families and and calming them down about the whole process. The question I'm going to ask you has nothing to do with all the numbers and the data. What's it like for you to be in the position that you're in at our college and be able to help students see the connections between where they are and where they want to be, and the gratification you get out of being able to help students make those dreams come true?
Steve, I really enjoy helping students because a lot of times students just feel that, I'm not able to pay for college. My parents are not able to pay for college. And, just letting them know that college is attainable for everyone and assisting them with a process that they feel, because a lot of parents, sometimes the students is a first generation college student, and
Right.
the parents feel intimidated about the FAFSA and being able to sit down with them and help them complete the FAFSA. And then once they get the information and find out, hey, I am eligible. I didn't think I was going to be eligible, but I am eligible. I will be able to go to college. So it's just a great feeling being able to help students achieve their dreams. And even like the financial aid process is the first step in completing the FAFSA. But a lot of the students, they come back to the financial aid office and, they have questions about, I think a lot of students just kind of ask financial aid all kinds of questions. So even because we are usually sometimes the first people that, they see and make a lot of contact with. So we kind of build that relationship, and that relationship carries throughout their entire time here. Because I've had students come back, Miss Kim, I'm getting ready to graduate. Thank you for helping me. And then I have people call me and say, so-and-so gave me your number. They said when they completed their FAFSA, you assisted them. So I want you to assist me and my son or daughter. So it's just a great feeling being able to help someone achieve a college education and at a school like Piedmont Technical College. And so it's just rewarding.
Yeah, and you're great at it. Absolutely fantastic at it. One quick question that I wanted to bring up, and you can help me if this is as relevant as I think it is. Students in Greenwood have a tremendous opportunity being part of the Greenwood Promise. How do you all work with the Greenwood Promises? How is their relationship there in terms of the processing of their funding?
Right, with the Greenwood Promise for Piedmont Tech, Greenwood Promise is a last pay. So once they complete their FAFSA and their financial aid is posted to their account, and if there's a balance for tuition, then Greenwood Promise, if they're eligible for the Greenwood Promise, then they can come in and help cover the cost of tuition, which is another great tool for Greenwood residents to have to assist with paying for college. And usually the application process is done through the guidance counselors from their school. And once they complete the information from there, it's sent over to us. And once all of the financial aid is posted, and if there's a credit balance, if there's a debit, if there's a balance, then the Greenwood Promise can be applied. And then there's the Lawrence County has a promise. It's so many different, and in our Upper Savannah region, there's different promises that's available for our students. So I encourage the students also talk with your guidance counselor, see, in the Lawrence, see what the Lawrence scholarship promise is about, and just talk with the guidance counselor, find out what needs to be done, and make sure you get all of that completed. So if there's a need that tuition is not covered by the Pell Grant and other federal and state money, you'll have the scholarships and the promises to help cover it.
Excellent, Kim. Listen, thank you. I want you to know how much here at the college we appreciate the work that you and your colleagues do for financial aid. We realize that in a lot of processes, one of the most sensitive is the ones that you guys do. It's easy to put them in English and math and reading and get the test scores done and say we got to start here and there and these are the classes you're going to take. That's pretty easy, but there's a lot of emotion and a lot of trepidation that sometimes goes into the trying to determine, can I afford this? And the work that you guys do is phenomenal, and it is absolutely one of the most necessary processes that we have. We appreciate, the professionalism and quality of service that you and everyone else in the financial aid department provides. And it's been wonderful talking to you. Is there anything you'd like to add before we sign off?
Stevie B, I just want to thank you for having me on here today. I really enjoyed talking with you about the financial aid process. And to all of those who are watching, Any way the financial aid department can assist you, do not hesitate to reach out to us. And also, Steve, we also have financial aid virtual assistant night. So in the chat, I think it's listed in the chat, the URL where students can go in and sign up for assistance. We usually go out to the high schools and have financial aid nights there, but since COVID-19, we're not going to the high schools doing the financial aid night, but we do have virtual assistance. We have 4 to 5 dates that's left. We offer you assistance with completing your FAFSA one-on-one assistance from a financial aid counselor. All you have to do is go to the website, sign up for the virtual FAFSA night, and someone assist you on that day.
Great. Somehow I know that from now on, when I run across you, it's going to be Stevie B. Kim and I have been friends for a long time. It's been a real pleasure talking to you, Kim. But once again, we appreciate you. And this concludes this episode of PTC Live. It's Stevie B with PTC signing off for myself and Mrs. Kim Chalmers. And we'll see you next week with another fantastic information-filled program right here on PTC Live.